The GUI problem can be solved there. The GUI problem can be solved there with a free third-party application called the Windows Firewall Control. And if you want to use the Windows Firewall, I highly recommend it. Just go here, download the current version and install. Obviously, it's only available for Windows. And this is what it looks like. The main screen here is the profiles, not to be mixed up with Windows profiles. It has its own concept of profiles as well as the Windows profiles. So you can see here we've got no filtering, where the Windows Firewall is simply turned off. So we can click it on here, and that will switch the firewall off. If we actually open the firewall and we refresh, you'll see that the changes that we make within WFC take immediate effect within the Windows Firewall. It is, in effect, a front end for the Windows Firewall, as I said. And then we can put it on low filtering, where outbound connections that do not match a rule are allowed, and only the programs with a block rule are blocked. So if we refresh this again, we'll see that it's come back on, and we've got the inbound connections that do not match a rule are blocked, and the outbound connections that do not match a rule are allowed. But this is where we really want it to be set. As I've mentioned before, outbound connections that do not match a rule are blocked. Only the programs with an allow rule are allowed. Which sets it as I recommended previously, with both inbound and outbound being blocked. If we go here, you can see the rules within its own GUI. And of course, any rules that we do add, again, will appear in the Windows Firewall. But essentially, we don't need to look at the Windows Firewall anymore, as long as we've got this. And you add it just the same as we did with the Windows Firewall. So we can choose a program or all programs. You can give it a name. Choose a program there. Which profiles to apply, which protocol, which ports, etc. All the same settings. And there we are, we create the rule. This has got some differences, so I just did the blank rule, but you can also browse to allow, so I can select and then allow. You can browse to block, select. And it's also got click to block, which is quite interesting. So as you can see here, click on a program window to block a connection. So if we click on this CMD here, you'll see that this has been created, and we have a rule here to block outbound connections for that. We delete that. You click to allow, and then click on there, and we'll see we've got an allow rule. Any. And there's more options here. You've got things like specifying that by default it will create only an outbound rule, and creating new rules to allow or block applications. That's what you want it set on, and defaults as to which profiles it will apply to, which again is what you want it set to. You can import and export the rules, which is a very nice feature. And you can automatically set high filtering profile at system shutdown. At Windows startup, network connections will be blocked until the user manually changes the profile. That's a nice little feature. And the high filtering profile is this one, which is all outbound and inbound connections are blocked effectively. So all the connection attempts will be denied. And if you look in here, we'll see the rule here. Block inbound connections, block outbound connections. And we can filter here so we can see inbound and outbound, enabled, disabled rules. So that's WFC, definitely worth having if you want to use the Windows firewall.
Okay, so si Windows firewall, no? So, continue sa ata, napay Windows firewall, third party naman na. So, ayun na. So, si Windows firewall is ato ni siya i-apply kung nga network, no? So, kanang na network na computer, so di man na siya pwede tagsa-tagsaon na to o check ang iyahang firewall. So, magkinahanglan ta aning Windows firewall control para si host mo na mo control sa tanan dito nga firewall sa every PC or device na na-connect sa access nga na-connect sa network. Okay, so sana nga time. Okay, so arita sa third party